and murder of our leaders. For example, the murder of Berta Cáceres, Lenca woman from Honduras. Currently, there's 7 leaders in Guatemala that are being persecuted for defending their land rights, and most of these are indigenous leaders. Faced with context of historical persecution, violations, racist, and excluding states, the lack of access to justice and true equality for many of our people, that's why many of our people are forced to flee. Just in the last week, the International Mayan League has received hundreds of requests for indigenous language interpretation, a clear sign that our communities are the ones being most impacted at the border right now. And we must remember that many of the children that are in detention right now and in jail, they are not being afforded their language access rights simply because they do not speak Spanish, much less English. How can they receive legal services and social service care and trauma care when they can't even communicate? Now, at this critical moment, we also ask for justice for Claudia Patricia Gomez, the young Mayan woman that was murdered by these people on May 23rd in Texas.
Shame.
We also demand that the witnesses to her murder, also 3 Maya Mom men, be protected and that their safety be guaranteed in order that they can provide accurate testimony in the pursuit of justice for Claudia Patricia Gomez Gonzalez.
Terrible abuses that our people are facing and experiencing.
The reason why I joined and we joined the fight to abolish ICE is because we recognize that it is an extension of the mass incarceration system in this country. And as I look at the folks who are standing behind us in the uniforms, and I understand that they are part of the Department of Homeland Security, I do have to ask myself, do I feel safer looking at them?
No.
Do any of y'all feel safe?
No.
Right? Because they're not here to make us feel safe. No. They're here to protect a particular kind of people that don't look like you and I.
Yeah.
Right?
Shame.
Shame.
Shame. Shame on you.
When we talk about black immigrants in this country, our experience is usually that of feeling invisible and hyper-visible at the same time. What do I mean by that? I mean by the fact that oftentimes our stories are not told or seen, but the way that these folks and these agencies are targeting us, we have really deadly results. Just this spring, there was a Muslim Somali woman in Georgia who was having a mental health attacked, and somebody called the police on her, and she is now dead. If you look at the deportation rates of the first administration of this person who sits in the White House, when you look at the numbers and separate them by immigrant groups, African migrants have had the highest jump in deportation rates. And then when you break that down by the country, the Somali migrant population have had actually a quadruple jump. So why are Somali migrants so vulnerable, would you ask? Because not only are they living at the intersection of anti-blackness, xenophobia, and Islamophobia, right? So this is why we talk about how all these issues are intersected, because they are literally killing our folks. And they are responsible for the deaths of our people. And we are here to avenge their death. We are here to speak truth to power, because we are not going to be silent. We are not going to be complicit. So I extend an invitation to the folks in the back that it's not too late to quit your jobs. It's not too late to leave your complicitness in this system that is anything but just in this country. And we, as people who have been criminalized in this country, have come to also tell them, the entire building and all of them behind us, that we are not criminal, the system is criminal. That ICE is criminal. So when I say the system, you say criminal. The system! Criminal. The system! Criminal. ICE! Criminal. ICE! Criminal. Thank you.